Today we're heading across Highway 48 to Pefferlaw to meet with Amy and Ted Hale, owners of Strictly V Twin, to learn about what it takes to run a successful family business. I'm Caird Urquhart, and this is Georginapreneur.
I am Amy Hale from Strictly V Twin. We're located on Highway 48, just outside of a town called Pefferlaw in Ontario. We specialize in Harley-Davidsons. We sell everything from a spark plug all the way to a complete engine build. We sell parts and accessories, apparel, anything you would need really to get on your motorcycle and ride away. If you're sort of a handy person and you want to do your own service, you could purchase anything here, and we generally would have it in the store. If not, it's usually about 48 hours turnaround to get the product here, as well as having fully licensed Harley-Davidson mechanics in the back working on your motorcycle. My parents, Fred and Gail Hale, bought the property in 1986. They came up from Scarborough, and my dad had a car lot up there, so he moved it up here. And then in the 90s, he got a motorcycle and started to be very passionate about it, so decided he would start a little motorcycle shop in his garage. And here we are today, many, many years later, second generation. And we still do work with our dad. He comes out here every day, even though he's technically not an owner. He does like to put his finger in the pie. Originally it was called Fred Hale Motors, and that worked well when it was a car business, but then when my dad changed it to motorcycles, he still sort of kept that name. So we did change the name to ring true more to motorcycles, so let people know what we were doing. We did get kind of sick and tired of people calling us asking for car parts. So we changed the name to Strictly V Twin in 2008. We also modernized it by getting a computer system, tracking our inventory, and then we also hired somebody to build us a website where you can shop online 24/7 as well as coming into our store. We do many events during the spring and summer as well as some in the wintertime. Our favorite event, the season opener, is going to be our swap meet, which we have many people coming from all parts of Ontario to trade their old parts and buy new parts, and it's such a fun day. We also have a show and shine that we've partnered up with some old car people, and you can come and check out classic cars, check out motorcycles. Even if you don't have a bike or a car, it's still a really fun day to bring your family out. The beauty of this business is it's second generation. We get to work with our dad every day, live and work in the same town that we grew up in. Our customers are amazing. They've turned into some really close friends.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Today I'm with my guests Amy and Fred Hale from Strictly V Twin. So happy to have you guys on the show today. I'm really excited.
Good morning. So are we.
Yeah, it's lovely to have two generations all in one room at the same time. Fred, maybe because you're the founder, you could start it off with just a little bit about how you got this bike shop started.
Well, when I started the bike shop, originally one of the main reasons was custom bike parts were hard to find. And I rode with a group of guys that couldn't get parts that they wanted to get from the local Harley dealers. And so I was in the automobile business, and everybody said, like, you should be in the bike business. You know where to get this stuff. So I started doing that, and everybody started coming here, and I started selling stuff to my friends, and it just grew from there.
That's amazing. Is there a reason that you picked this particular location?
Mainly because at the time I was running a business here, and it was an easy segue into keeping everything all in one place.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the family got involved, and does your son ride? Does your wife ride?
No, she doesn't ride, but we dragged these poor kids. At the time we were doing multiple motorcycle shows and swap meets right across Ontario. And we dragged these poor kids to all the shows on the weekends. We would travel and go to London and different areas of Ontario and load up a van. And the kids called it the Ghostbuster because it had a raised roof on it, an old Dodge van. And we'd load that up and take it to a show and spend all weekend there. And Amy would try and talk my wife into going away shopping, leaving the show.
I'm sure they did that from time to time.
Every now and then, yeah. You got a little shopping in.
Yeah. So you've now in a position where you're moving the business to the next generation. And I know with succession in business, it can often be a very tricky decision, and it can be an emotional decision. How did you come to that place?
It wasn't a difficult or emotional decision at all, because Amy had been involved in the business since she was a toddler, and so she knew more part numbers than I did. So she was able to just move right in, and she had gone to college and taken some different subjects and got her degree, and then when she decided to come into the business, then she pursued another degree, and she was able to take it over and run it with confidence.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about stepping back?
It was pretty easy for me, because it enabled me to sit back and watch what they could do with it that I wasn't doing with it, and it still is. It's really enjoyable to see where they've taken it.
So you managed to fill your days.
I did, and what the parts that I couldn't fill, they filled for me.
In what sense?
Well, I went from the CEO to the chief of crap jobs. So it was sort of anything that they didn't want to do or couldn't do because they were busy.
Right.
I was the go fetch. I would go pick up the bikes for them to service and bring them back and forth and help them in whatever way I could.
And you enjoy that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It gave me something to do and kept me active, and I enjoyed it.
That's fantastic. I think it's great that, you were able to take a step back, because a lot of people can't do that, but also that you're still involved. I mean, it gives you, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Everybody needs one, right? You can come out here and help out, which is...
Well, and also, too, I feel that I am quite fortunate, because like a lot of people, their kids move away and get jobs away, and they see them every other weekend or once a month. I see my kids every day. For that, I feel fortunate.
Right.
He's also the type of guy that needs to be doing something. He can't just sit around. So
I get that feeling.
Yeah. In his 74th year, he's still hustling every day.
74, that's amazing. You put a broom in your hand and off you go. You'll do the sweeping, you'll take the bikes out, you'll do whatever needs to be done, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a family deal. It always has been. It probably always will be.
That's amazing.
Amy has a little girl right now, and she's actually been in the shop quite a bit. That Amy's came back to work after her maternity leave, and my son his wife is expecting, and they're going to have a little toddler kicking around. So we'll have 2 new grandchildren this year, and hopefully they'll move along with it as well.
It's a family affair.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we're going to go to commercial break, and then we'll come back, and I want to talk to second Jen about where she's going.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Fred and Amy Hale of Strictly V Twin. And we've been talking about first generations with Fred, and how you're the founder of the company and how you got started here and how you're passing it on to the next gen. We also are very lucky to have second gen with us today. Amy, can you give me a little bit of a feeling? I mean, you're a new mom. You've taken over this business. Can you give me a sense of how that sits with you? Like, how do you cope with the balance on a day-to-day?
I have a great team. When I had the baby, we pulled my dad out of retirement, so he's basically back at the counter every day again. And my husband is a great support, and when I do come to work, which right now is part-time, my mom takes the very best care of our little girl. So she lets me, get out here and get what I need to get done, and then I know my kid's in good hands.
That's great. And what sort of things did you have to do to prepare yourself for this job?
So originally, I went back to school to take a business accounting course, just to, make sure that I would be financially responsible. I know that a lot of new businesses do fail based on bad finances or just simply not knowing what they're doing. So I wanted to better prepare myself for a successful takeover.
That's really good, because often people will slide into a family business just because they're kind of placed there without having any backing or education to make that happen.
Exactly.
Speaking of education, not only did you get formal, right, but your dad alluded to the fact that you were kind of dragged around with everything. Can you tell us a bit, everywhere they went, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we definitely pounded the miles on these old vans of theirs. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm always moving and shaking, so it's better than just sitting around. I'm much like my father. My husband calls me Fred Jr. So,
Yeah, he does.
I just, I can't sit still either.
Right.
Yeah.
And what key things, were there certain things that sat with you even when you were little, when you were being taken around in the van and watching your folks working? Were there certain things that you could take away from that?
Oh, definitely. There was one time at a bike show that was just my dad and I, and he decided to leave me in the booth, and I was about 12 years old, and then these guys came and were trying to haggle with me. So that was actually a really good lesson for me, because I learned right then and there, with no help or guidance, to how to haggle with a man. And those guys still come to the store.
Yeah, I bet you met all the customers back in the day.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
probably,
And
right?
yeah, we kind of, it's funny because now they say like, oh, I remember you when you were this little. So they like to, see the business grow.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. They probably love watching you grow as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And what about now, like some of the customers that you started with years ago, they're coming into this store?
But we still have a strong customer base,
Yeah.
and it goes back to 30, 35 years that we have long-term customers, and we are servicing our customers' kids' bikes. So,
Well,
they
that's
bring
cool.
them here. So that's, it is generational.
Right.
So once you're here for good.
That's fantastic. I guess people, when they become bike enthusiasts, it's something that never goes away,
So
right?
it's in the blood.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. My brother rode bikes, my husband rides bikes, and even if they just sit and look at them in the garage, it's
Yeah.
don't get on them as much anymore.
Yeah,
there's
it's like
a
I
passion,
say,
right?
I
It's a
have
passion.
gasoline in my blood.
Yeah, gasoline in your blood. Yeah, that's right. And I mean, you must too, because growing up, being around it since day one, there must be something about all of this that appeals to you.
Definitely. It's mostly, making the contact with the customer and kind of having a relationship with our customers and knowing them by name, and that's pretty special.
Right. Do some of the older guys come in and tease you a little bit about when you were young, or?
No, not really. They're actually really happy to see that, we're here and still going strong.
Right.
Oh, and they love to see the grandchild. They're all coming before Amy came back. They're all going, "When's Amy coming back? When's Amy coming back? How's the baby?" And they're bringing gifts. They're bringing,
Yeah.
shopping bags full of gifts and stuffed animals for Amy's new child. It's almost like they're part of the family.
That's
you know?
fantastic. That's fantastic. And it speaks a lot to you folks as a family and what you started years back in terms of creating that, the legacy component of it, but also the loyalty, right? The loyalty of your customers. It sounds like they don't go anywhere else.
It went from when people would bring their bikes in here for service, and when Ted was working on their bikes, our son, he went from the boy, he's too young to work on my bike. I want you to work on my bike, but I never worked on the bikes. Ted always did, and now to see it just flow into, I only want him to work on my bike, nobody else. So,
Right.
they know how fussy he is and how good his service is, so they just and they'll wait. Like, we're always booked up, and right now, I always tell people I'm so far behind. I think I'm in first place because now we're booking in the summer months. We're booking into the third week of May, and it's only April, so it's starting to build up again.
Yeah, I bet. And the season's getting longer too, right? Winters are getting shorter, so people can get their bikes out a little bit earlier.
Exactly. We used to have a transitional period from about November till February where we were slow and we could work on our own projects, and now we have projects that are ongoing 4 and 5 years because we haven't had time where we seem to be busy all year long, and people will call that don't know us and ask if we're open in the winter. We go, that's our busiest time of year.
Really?
Yeah, we're busy all the time.
In the winter, is it mostly about like fixing bikes, I guess, because people aren't riding them as much? Is that where you get your
We do
most-
major work in the winter time.
Yeah.
Full tear downs and full custom builds and things like that. Paint work and
Right.
and things like that. Yeah.
And do people come and take their bikes, say, I want my bike fixed up because I'm going to go road tripping in Florida or something?
100%, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because you do some work down in the States as well, right? Don't you go down there?
Yeah, so I'll go to sort of get some education. So our suppliers will host events, some shows and that, and then they do seminars. So we go and learn about, the new products and things like that, new models, all that stuff. It's good to just keep your, head right above everything because you wanna know what's coming. So,
Right. right.
And you meet all the distributors and all the owners of the companies that distribute our products, so that you're on a first name basis with them. So if you do encounter any problems with their products, you know, you can go right directly to the source. You don't have to go through a middleman. So and that's what we like to do. With people call us with the internet now, everybody can pretend to be a custom part manufacturer, you know, with access to a CNC machine, and that leads to a lot of problems because they basically don't know what they're doing. So we only deal with people that are established and that sell to major distributors, so that we do have a plan that if we do sell something, we can look after the people.
That's great.
You know, we can take care
I'm going to
of
have to cut you off for a second, sorry, right in the middle of your speech, but we got to go to commercial. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with my guests, Fred and Amy Hale from Strictly V Twin. And Fred, we were just talking a bit about, you know, how the loyalty of your customers and the fact that you guys have been around for a long time, and it's nice to have people who really know what they're doing, because you never know online who knows what and where things are coming from. And on that note, I kind of want to segue into mentorship. Did you have a mentor in this world that helped you? And if so, who and how?
Well, my mother and father, and my father especially, my father he would buy and sell anything. I mean, it didn't matter what it was, from a truckload of candy to a warehouse full of fence posts. And I went to install them. You know? But yeah, he instilled on me the buy and the sell and the work ethic. You know, not only you buy and sell it, but you had to work with it, you know, with your product. So, and my mother was always a great supporter of any endeavor that I ever took. And I don't know if I can actually say this on your program or not, but
I know. No,
We'll find out in a minute.
I know what it is.
I was trying to sell a car. I was about 17 years old, and I had this car, and it gave me nothing but trouble. So I was trying to sell it. I was having no luck selling it. I was really down in the dumps. I came in the house after showing it to somebody, and they didn't buy it. And I looked at my mother, and she said, "Don't worry, son. There's a bottom for every toilet seat." And that always stuck with me, you know.
Great.
So I cleaned that up a little.
We appreciate that, but I think we got the point.
No, they were great helps, and they were
yeah.
great mentors, and they were a super help to us. Yeah,
Fantastic.
We really got good guidance from them. Good
That's
work
great.
ethic from the pair of them. Amy, who was your mentor?
Wow. I'll definitely have to say my mom. She is just fantastic with money. So as a young child, she instilled in us to be smart with your money. You know, even if you don't have a lot of money, it just matters how you spend it.
Right.
And obviously, the boss. My dad's
The old boss. He's not the boss
Well,
now.
we still call him the boss. He's currently the boss too.
Yeah.
So no, definitely my dad. He's taught us like how to sell properly, how to run a business successfully. As you can tell, like I mean, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're all doing pretty well, and I think you'd be the first to say that they've taken it all to a next level, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
taking it to a level that I never expected it to be. You know, they just and they basically did that the first year. You know, I was kind of hoping that I would have when they took over all my inventory and they were just paying me as they sold it. I was kind of hoping I'd have a 2 or 3 year paycheck, but they did it all in a year, and I had to find something to do.
Well, I think that speaks to, you know, the mentorship you got from your folks,
Yeah.
right, and the work ethic, and it's been passed down to the next gen, to your family, to your kids, and now you got a new little one, and now it'll be over to you to keep that momentum moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's great to have family mentors. I think that's really, really important. A lot of people don't have that, so it's lovely.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're very, very strong on the family.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. So advice. Let's talk about that, because instead of having a mentor, become the mentor for a moment. Well, you already have been, but I want to get advice anyway. What you would offer up to young entrepreneurs coming up, not necessarily in the biking world, but in any business.
In any business, any endeavor that you wish to pursue, you need a plan. and you need the wherewithal to stick to that plan, and you need some money. You need to start with money, your own money, not borrowed money. As your business progresses and you need money to expand, then you look for outside sources for money. But try and start with your own money.
Little skin in the game.
Exactly, and your own plan, and don't have all kinds of other plans outside of your business, because your business is going to take up a ton of time, and it needs a ton of time. You know, you got to put in the effort. So put the skin in the game and you'll be successful.
That's great. So if I go over to you now in terms of skin in the game, what does that look like from a second gen perspective? Because a lot of this was already here.
Right. So the plan is already, you know, we've spoken about our service department, but expanding that, because that is extremely successful avenue of the business. Also, our brick and mortar store, we're continuing to go with that, but bringing new customers in through doing more events and trade shows and things like that. And then we need to ramp up our online presence. As the way the world goes, everything is digital, so we need to move forward with that.
How do you feel about online presence? That's probably
Well, we
my
have
mother
a
used to
unique.
say, "I'm not meant for this world anymore. It's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
turn now."
We have a unique perspective with the online presence, because we're able to give the advice that a regular online store doesn't have. They don't have the experience. They just don't have the knowledge and the ability to be able to inform people as to make a good, solid purchase. So you just look online and you click the button. We're able to be online with the products, not just one product of the same thing, but multiple products that we are able to offer advice and steer people in the right direction. So that's basically our niche in the market, is that we know what we're doing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we've been doing it a long time. We've been doing it well, and now they're doing it very successfully. So,
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really good. Would you have other advice for maybe people taking on a business that their family has already run, or even starting a new business? Do you have something that comes to mind?
Definitely. I wouldn't be afraid to make a change. You know, if it worked last year, it may not work this year. So you need to be ready to adapt. And also be financially responsible. You know, get your own personal finances organized before you start a business. You know, you really need to have your finances figured out.
So I think that's a really interesting point you make, especially when you step into a business that already exists, is some people think that will just take care of them. But if you don't have your own financial world figured out and understand the value of a dollar, you can really destroy it very, very quickly, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It takes years to create a good brand and minutes to kill it, right?
That's true.
And I think you folks are really. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so impressed with what you've done, and I love the whole family value that you bring to the table. It's amazing. So I think this business has got great legs, and I'm excited to share it with everybody. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
We really appreciate you guys taking the time and effort to help us along the way.
Well, no, I don't think they need our help, folks, but why don't we ride on out of here?